Hey, what's up everyone? It's me, Prince Caius here, and this is What If Deku Had the Black Trigger from World Trigger, Part 1. Uh, this is going to be the backstory, mostly, so let's just get into it. 3, 2, 1. So, when Deku was born, he was born in the neighbor world. But uh, he was obviously uh, when he was like getting older and older, he was so when he was about 3 years old, his father was the one who was basically in there with him, and he basically trained him how to live in the neighbor world, so he wouldn't get hurt or get killed. And he always talked about Japan and all these heroes and stuff uh, in the world, in the other side of the world. And Deku was fascinated by what his dad kept on telling him. And one day, when Deku's father uh, was training him, his father gave him a black trigger and told him told Deku to have this always on in hand. Just put this on your finger and activate it when it is necessary. And if there is a neighbor or a humanoid neighbor, attack them on sight. But if you are in the other world, uh, don't do that and don't attract unwanted attention from yourself in the other world. Of course, Deku uh, takes this from to heart because Deku honestly knows how dangerous uh, a trigger is, but doesn't know what a black trigger is. But he only knows just a little bit of a black trigger. But um, Deku's father, uh, Deku's grandfather, was actually the one who created the the black trigger to protect Deku's father in the neighbor world. So when Deku turns 10, Deku and his father goes to this one town in the neighbor world and has to basically protect uh, protect them because they were hired to to save them because Deku's dad was very known in the Deku's grandfather was very known. Basically, his whole family was very known to be mercenary technically, but they protect people from being harmed in the neighbor world. So, and the people that were threatening the town that they were living by, they had to protect it because, of course, it's obviously where they live close by them, and that's where they get their food and all that. And Deku and his father has to protect this place from humanoid neighbors with other black triggers, and of Deku didn't know that they were stronger, and including his father didn't know this. So both of them uh, made a plan after getting ambushed the first time trying to fight them. Deku and after they made the plan, they basically went uh, to tell uh, the mayor of that town that is getting attacked to evacuate the town because there's way too much people with black triggers and they're way too strong for them. But of course, they don't listen, and uh, a few days go by, and the city is overwhelmed and destroyed by uh, the the neighbor monsters and the humanoid neighbors. And they always try to find Deku and his father because they are the strongest and probably the ones that could take them out. And once Deku noticed that they were just trying to find them, he told his father. And his father tells him that, yes, I know, but we should stay low until they basically are close, and then we'll ambush their leader. But when they get close a few days later, the leader was a false leader, and they attacked the wrong one, and Deku and Deku's father was ambushed by the actual leader of the group and almost got killed, but Deku's father protected Deku the for the at the very end, and basically sacrificed himself until Deku was had his black trigger activated. Um, he was just learning how to use the black trigger at that point, like how to use it effectively. So that is why he, you know, can barely use it exactly. So don't get on my case that I said something that a few minutes ago. But um, Deku obviously uh, his Deku's father obviously tells Deku to leave him there because he is dying already. And when that happens, Deku tells his father that he's not going to leave him because he's not wanting to be alone in this world. Deku's father obviously tells Deku that there's a way to go to Japan, to the other world, where you'll go to Japan and you'll meet your mother, which Deku was hoping to meet her one day, but he didn't think that it was going to be that day or in a few days. But when Deku obviously goes to after Deku leaves his father, after he dies, Deku finds where his father told him to go to the other world. When he arrives, and yes, this is about the time it took him like a few years to find it, and when he found it, he was about 13 or like I don't know 12, 13, 14 or so. Um, but I don't know what I said on the trailer, just for his age. But um, when he got in back into when he went to the real world, uh, he had this paper to tell him where his mother lives and um, and what town and all that. And so when Deku goes to um, tries to find his mom, he of course runs into Bakugo, and Bakugo doesn't know who he is, who Deku is, and uh, because Deku basically walked, uh, like bumped into him, and Bakugo, of course, his innate, I'm the king of all people. I'm in a high pedestal and stuff. He of course does his treatment as usual and starts to be mean to Deku, but he doesn't know who he is. Deku, of course, uh, knows that he should apologize and be more nice to people uh, in this world. Unlike the neighbor world, and of course, Deku uh, apologizes to Bakugo, and Deku then walks away. But Bakugo doesn't want him to just walk away after apologizing. Um, Bakugo obviously starts yelling even louder and telling him um, to come back and stop apologizing, or he'll fight him and stuff. And Deku, of course, says sorry again and just stays there for a few seconds and says that he has to go. After telling Bakugo what his name is, Deku says his name, and Bakugo says that he doesn't really care. He doesn't. He doesn't want. He doesn't really care about uh, who he is, and of course starts to try to start a fight with Deku, but because Deku, well, not Deku, but Bakugo was with his mom. He was her his Bakugo's mom and Deku's mom are still are like friends, still, but without Deku, of course. And um, Bakugo's mom asked Bakugo who the one that you're yelling at and stuff, after hitting him in the head and stuff. And Bakugo, of course, says, well, not Bakugo, but Deku says his full name, Izuku Midoriya, and Bakugo's mom, of course, drops some of her groceries that she was going to put in the basket, and says, oh, So I finally get to meet you. And of course, they go to Deku's mom's house. They go to Inko's house, and uh, Inko finally meets uh, her son Deku, and this is where we're going to leave off. And I hope you enjoy. So, like, comment, subscribe. See ya.